As per usual, you, Cove, and Baxter met up on another day for another session. A few light-hearted words were exchanged as Baxter watched the two of you amusedly. Cove's mood was still shining, and Baxter could tell.
So?
Yeah, the cake went very well, Baxter, very well.
I take it the cake designing went well.
Like a child who was excited to show their latest work of crayon art to their teacher, Cove shared the news with pure happiness.
We're getting a really big one.
Well, I mean, I held back. I didn't get the 5-layer one.
I'm so pleased to hear that. What shall we be doing today?
Caterer or clothes? We might even be able to do both. Let's flip a coin and see what the coin shall decideth. Heads for caterer, tails for clothes. Hiya! Ah! Landed on my neck. Tails! Perfect! Let's go get some clothes!
Wonderful.
He clapped his hands together at the thought.
Well.
I can imagine you'll both look incredible. So, I recall that the two of you are intending to keep the outfits nice and secret for the special day. Does that mean that you're each shopping alone? Or were you thinking about extending the invitation to someone else? I want my dad to come.
Yeah, I want my moms to come.
It sounds like something a best man should do, right?
I mean...
I know my mom would want to come too, but she doesn't live close, so... You know.
I feel like she would make the drive to see you dress up. Cove shrugged weakly. Baxter nodded with a faint quirk of humor in his expression.
It'll be nice for Mom to see it on our actual wedding day, though.
Of course.
You felt for Cove, familiar with the issue yourself. You could think of a few geographically unavailable people it would have been nice to bring with you as well. It's true. Actually, this is a great idea, though. Maybe you could send your mom pictures. Cove considered it, tilting his head in thought. He wasn't completely against the idea, but didn't fully commit either. Maybe he's like, I don't want my mom dressing me. She's gonna be like, oh, sweetie, why don't you wear this? And like, Mom.
I'm not very good at that.
That is true. Even though it would have been nice for Cove to share the experience with his mom, you were sure that no matter what Cove wore, Kyra would still be just as excited to see him on the big day. And it was great that he'd still be able to bring his dad. Tell him I said hi. For your own shopping adventure, you pictured how you wanted the experience to go. Then you directed your attention back at Baxter, finally ready to answer his question. Yes, with my moms! You welcomed your mom's help on this shopping adventure. I gotta take the moms. The trip was far less likely to end up with you scrutinizing yourself in a mirror when trying on the 13th outfit for 15 minutes, trying to judge it and the previous dozen options yourself. As long as the moms are not like, you look beautiful and everything. Be brutally honest with me, moms. With that decided, Baxter rubbed his hands together in satisfaction.
Perfect. But before you run off on that next outing, it would be best to choose where you're going. Do you have a preference on which store or stores you'd like to visit? There are 2 excellent local shops that should be able to set you both up with whatever you need. One is primarily a dress boutique, but it also has romper and skirt options. The accessory selection is also divine. There is also a shop that focuses on suits. Pantsuits, skirt suits, they have it. They also have all the relevant additions that you'd be likely to want.
I guess.
I'm gonna wear a suit, so I guess I'll need to go to the suit shop.
What do you think?
And you, Molly?
I want to get my outfit at the boutique.
It's doable.
I would hope so.
That works.
Cove nodded in agreement.
Lovely.
You make this so easy for me.
Baxter sounded pleased as he reached over for his notebook on the nearby desk. He clicked his pen and jotted something down.
I'll leave the rest up to you, and I'll see you both during our next session. Good luck.
His smile was curled, but bright. He waved you both off.
Thanks!
Cove's voice was nervous as he started to shuffle out. You got up, following him. Bye! Toodaloo! You know what? Sayonara, Baxter. Time passed from your meeting with your planner, and soon both you and Cove were going out for the big shopping trip. You temporarily said goodbye to your fiancé. You hugged Cove and he squeezed you back with a big grin on his face.
Have fun, Molly.
You have fun yourself. Cove nodded, bouncing on the balls of his feet. You could tell he was slightly nervous, but still looking forward to the rest of the day. Your car beeped when you unlocked it and you climbed in the driver's seat. Cove waved you off when you left. You swung by the neighborhood and picked up your parents along the way. Mom and Ma joked about who called shotgun first and who would spread out in the back seat. It was a pleasant drive, full of light conversation. For example, you learned that there was a rumor going around Sunset Bird about finally fixing up the old park. Well, well. Ma doubted it was going to happen, since apparently it had been going around the grapevine for a while. Mom didn't think there would be smoke without a fire.
But that's getting off topic. What are you hoping to find today, Molly?
You mentioned a few of your ideas, and your parents listened eagerly, chattering about possible ideas for the rest of the drive. Up ahead was a very proper, fancy building. You could tell it was going to be really nice. Ooh, very nice. So fun fact, I did not go to a boutique for my wedding dress. I actually wore a sari, which is an Indian outfit. Very fancy, very purple, very covered in sequins and beads and so forth. And I actually ordered it online. I took a chance, ordered it online with my measurements, and it fit perfectly. So I never went through this whole, like, trying on things, seeing what I liked, blah, 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 blah. So now I get to experience that in the game, which is fun. So many pretty dresses. You entered the boutique and took in the view. The first thing you noticed was how warmly lit the shop was. Despite most of the merchandise being stark whites, the lights had a soft glow. It was fanciful, like a fairy tale place where dreams could come true. The dresses had room to breathe, each displayed like it was a treasure. In the air, there was a faint scent. You thought it was something floral, but you also thought that something smelled like vanilla as well. Whatever it was pretty and not overwhelming.
Aha!
Fancy.
Ma's eyes narrowed as she scrutinized the place.
Yes, this should do well.
Mom chuckled as she walked further into the shop.
Well, if Lonnie says it's acceptable, then we're in good shape.
A woman with an official-seeming binder stepped across the floor, her high heels not clacking once. She made eye contact with you and smiled.
Hello? Is Molly here?
Yes, I'm Molly. Gabrielle, okay.
Thank you for coming and congratulations. My name is Gabrielle and I'll be your stylist today. We'll do everything we can to find you your dream look for the day.
She grinned brightly and gestured for you to follow her. She led you over to a sitting area.
One sec. Before you settle in, let me get a few measurements.
You obliged, and Gabrielle took a measuring tape from her pocket and wrapped it around you. You could tell that she had a lot of practice with how efficient she was at it.
Thanks so much. Now feel free to sit. We can get this going.
You sat in the middle of the seats. It seemed appropriate, and with how the spots were arranged, as you'd be able to get up and out easily. That'd be helpful, considering why you were there. Your mom's filed into a couple open seats. Ma still seemed to be inspecting her surroundings, while Mom beamed at you. Gabrielle flipped over her binder and tapped the laminated pages with her manicured nails.
To get an idea of your vision, I have a few questions for you. This will guide the selection process. I find it makes things a little more manageable if I bring you options based on your preferences, instead of you going over every single piece we've got. We wouldn't want to overwhelm you.
Ma smirked, but made no comment. She had supervised the boutique since you were a child, and likely knew more than most of the employees here. All right, Ma. However, you appreciated that she was respectful of their process.
I know it's a lot to think about all at once, but just take it one question at a time and remember that we can always go in another direction later if you want.
Okay, sounds good. The stylist handed the questionnaire over to you and you skimmed over the questions. It got more detailed as it went, but the start was fairly simple. Hit me with it. The type of clothing you wanted brought out was a dress, a romper, a shirt and skirt. I would like a dress, please. That was... Ooh! If I say non-traditional, can I get my purple wedding dress again? Guys? Guys? Specifically... I can do it! I can make it happen! Ah, this game really does think of everything! I love it! Hit me up with that purple! With what kind of garment you wanted and the desired color filled out, the questionnaire transitioned into more style-based questions. You went down the list, picking out descriptor after descriptor that sounded best. Modern, traditional, fusion. I mean, a sari is about as traditional as you can get, so I guess traditional? Shiny cloth, matte cloth, textured cloth. It's not matte. Shiny? Well-fitting, flowy, frilly. Fitted at the top and then flowing out, fitting at the top and then puffing out. Flowy, I guess? I don't know, I'm trying to think if a sari is considered well-fitting or flowy. It's not really flowy. I guess it's more well-fitting. Probably. It's wrapped, you know? Like you wrap it around the bottom, and then you throw the big shawl part over your arm, and then the top is like a separate piece, and that's well-fitted. I guess well-fitting. Yes. Beaded. I didn't have any lace, but I did have beading. Lots of beading. It was heavy. Long sleeved, short sleeved. I had short sleeves. It was... I had to wear heels, so I guess it was... ankle length, I guess. Once I had the shoes on, it was ankle length. Finally, you handed the binder back to the stylist. She ran her gaze up and down the page. Oh, and also, fun fact, because the thing was so heavy, kind of cumbersome, it made for beautiful pictures. But I also had a reception dress, so after the first dance, I changed into another dress, which was one sleeve. It came to my knees. It was fitted at the top, and then it like poofed out. And it had like a petticoat, and it was like a pale yellow. And I loved that dress. It was perfect for dancing. It was nice and cool, super light. I loved it. So yeah, I did not want to dance in that sari for the entire night. I'm like, all right, I'm getting changed.
I'm on it. I'll go get you something.
Gabrielle turned on her heels and headed to the back of the store out of sight. The distinct sound of the stylist's heels deliberately not clacking on the floor alerted you that she was coming back. She carried a dress that seemed right out of what you pictured from the questionnaire. It was the right color, right fabric, the style you indicated. Seeing all the elements put together in a single piece, the dress had a relaxed feel to it.
That'd be great.
You'd look amazing in that, and you'd follow your ma's footsteps with that kind of style.
Really? Aw, Ma.
True, it's wonderful, and not just because I also would wear something like it.
What do you think, Molly?
I mean, I'm happy. I can't see it, but I like to imagine it's perfect. This is it! Your stylist lit up at your approval. She held the dress closer to you.
Then you should put it on.
The stylist walked you to the changing room, a generously sized space with a full mirror closed off by a heavy curtain. She hung the dress on a metal hook.
Now, before I give you some privacy, would you like me to grab any accessories to complete the look?
A veil, a tiara, a shawl, a train, a bracelet, earrings, a jacket, an anklet, and anklets. I did not wear an anklet to my wedding, but I feel like I should wear an anklet to this wedding. For reasons. I did not have a veil. I did have a tiara. And I wore bangles, which is multiple bracelets. They were silver and black on both hands. Or arms, I guess I should say. And earrings. So, yeah, hit me up with that tiara. And I'll wear a bracelet, earrings, and an anklet. That's everything. You shared your ideas with the stylist. From your description, she had something in mind and left you to collect what you requested. You closed the curtain after Gabriel was gone. You were glad that there was a space to put your clothes when you changed out of them. I think I called her Gabriel instead of Gabrielle. I'm not very consistent with my pronunciations. Anyway, you slipped into the dress. It fit well for something off the rack. Gabrielle knew what she was doing with sizing. You inspected yourself before you left the dressing room. The view from the mirror was breathtaking. You truly were about to have a wedding. You slid the thick cloth partition aside and stepped back to the main floor of the shop. You paused in front of another well-lit mirror and beamed. Gabrielle walked up and accessorized you. The look was finished. In the mirror, the day you were planning for looked back at you. You, in the dress you'd wear to the ceremony. It felt real. Oh my goodness, I remember putting on that dress for the first time. I was so nervous because I'm like, okay, is it actually gonna fit, you know? Am I gonna have to get it adjusted? But then when I had it on, I was just like, wow, this is gorgeous. I was so excited. You felt like jumping for joy and struggled not to run around telling everyone in the shop how lucky you were to be marrying Cove. You nodded at your reflection and then spun around to face the others. Ma hugged around Mom from the side.
Oh, it's amazing, honey.
Mom took a moment to recover from being bowled over from the unexpected hug, but rallied.
You've never looked better, kiddo.
You twisted around, looking back at the mirror. It was the right choice. You went back to talk with the stylist together, and she helped you get things sorted. Gabrielle took more of your measurements and discussed the shoes you'd be wearing. The boutique would tailor the dress to fit you and your shoe size exactly. It didn't take long to wrap everything up. You thanked Gabrielle for her help and had every belief that the next time you put on that dress, it would be one of the best days of your life. That is a certainty. When outside, the first thing on your mind was calling Cove to let him know you were done. You selected Cove's name in your favorites and tapped the call button. He answered right away. His voice was chirpy over the phone, eager to talk to you.
Molly!
Heyo! Hi!
How did it go?
It went great. Another thing to check off the list.
I'm so glad.
That's so good. I'm glad it worked out.
He sounded sweet, and a small part of you melted. Talking to him made you even happier that you had been, even happier than you had been for successfully finding your outfit. Gotcha. How were things for you?
I did it too. Me and Dad kind of struggled, but it worked out. I'm pretty sure it's all good. You should like it.
I'm sure I'll love it. Why would you say, why am I not surprised that this was a challenge for you? So rude. I can't wait for us to see each other.
It's going to be amazing. This is a surprise I can wait for.
Suddenly, the days before the wedding seemed even longer. Now you would be in suspense. Ah yes, those last few days before the wedding that take forever.
Should I say sorry now if I cry when I see you? I know that's gonna be perfect. But I should probably let you go. We can see each other in person once we get back.
I love you.
Aw.
Goodbye for a little bit, Molly.
Love you too. Bye, Cove. You ended the call gleefully and tucked the phone away. Then you pulled out your keys and hurried off to your fiancé. I hope I remembered to drop Moms off. You also gave your appreciation to your moms for not interrupting your conversation with Cove. They had been able to sense you'd been missing him and needed that time. You parked in the familiar street to drop off your mom's. With the car parked in front of your old house, you said your goodbyes.
Thanks.
Thanks for letting us come along. Hopefully we didn't cramp your style too much. I'm sure we'll see you soon.
You thanked them for joining you and waved until they disappeared into the house. In the car, with the scenery flying past you, you reflected on the day. You thought back to what you had put together and felt your heart flutter. The image was crystal clear. You could see yourself in it, and the view of your wedding day had become that much more defined in your mind. And we're back! Right on time, you entered Baxter's office for your next meetup. He was waiting there for you.
So?
Hello. Were you both able to find pieces you're happy with? I think so. It's gonna be wonderful.
Yeah.
As it should be. What shall we be doing today?
It's a tough choice, but maybe we should just pick a caterer.
Alright.
Cove's brightening enthusiasm was no surprise to you. Food always excited him. Baxter placed his hands on the arms of his chair and lightly tapped it with the tips of his fingers.
In that case...
That should be a nice time. I'll make sure you find the proper service to meet your needs, but don't worry. I won't get in the way of deciding any of the details for the menu. Thanks.
I appreciate that. After that, the rest of the session circled around finding a specific catering company, and eventually you all agreed on one in particular. They were able to make arrangements with you right away. One phone call and you had scheduled a time to go over details in person. That included a meeting with the chef, too. And, as an added bonus, this would all happen before your next appointment with Baxter. It was a relief knowing that the menu would be taken care of by the next time you saw him again. Until then, there wasn't much else to do. It was time to leave.
Thanks again for your help.
See you.
It's my pleasure, of course. I await your next visit.
We'll be back soon. Bye. Baxter nodded with a genuine smile as he watched you head out the door. Once you were outside the offices, you noticed a little pep in Cove's step. You were both in good spirits. Chipping away at the wedding planning had a special way of doing that. On the scheduled appointment with the caterer, you and Cove eagerly arrived at the location specified over the phone. Oh, we are in the kitchen. You were led inside the building, past a seating room, and directly into their commercial kitchen. It was sleek, silver, and so clean that it sparkled. That observation alleviated some worries right away. Next to you, Cove's eyes wandered the space with intrigue. Along the back wall, you spotted a woman at a sink large enough to be an arm's length deep. She looked over her shoulder and grinned broadly. Hold on, I'll be right there! She finished washing up and swiftly crossed the room, drying her hands on her apron. When she reached you and Cove, she gave a little bow. Hi, I'm the head chef and your caterer. I hear that you're getting married and are in need of sustenance for your friends and family.
Yeah, we are.
Well, I can assure you that you've come to the right place. We provide a full-course meal with a menu tailored to your tastes and requirements. We'll also include all the plating, silverware, and glasses, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Why don't you introduce yourselves? A bit stunned by the speediness of the chef's candor, Cove took the opposite approach and slowly, awkwardly pointed to himself.
I'm Cove, the groom.
And my name's Molly. I'm the bride. I love it! You can call me Rhonda.
Okay, hi Rhonda.
Hey, nice to meet you. Marvelous! Now I have a little pamphlet that I'm gonna go grab. You can read it, leave it on the counter, use it as a coaster. It's okay, I'm gonna explain everything myself anyways. Think of it as an extra guide. Rhonda waved the idea of any formality with both hands, as she also shrugged nonchalantly. Cove chuckled shyly, leaning towards you while she lightly jogged to the other side of the kitchen. She scooped up 2 information sheets and came right back. Rhonda confidently stretched her arm out all the way to offer you each a pamphlet. Both of you accepted one. Cove turned his around in his hands, inspecting it carefully. You studied the one in your hands, too. Ooh. Catering, excellent taste. One remarkable catering experience, call for reservation, and the pasta. Well, now that I've remembered that, we can get into the nitty-gritty. Let's shop talk the menu.
You can choose to have a single menu that's consistent across the board. Easy peasy. Or we can do up to 2 fully separate types of menus based on different dietary needs. Guests could choose between them, and we'll prepare as much of both as needed. And it practically goes without saying, but we'll be able to accommodate individual plate changes if any comes up. For example, a situation where just 1 or 2 people need some specific elements left out. We can work with that without needing to make another full selection for it. So what kind of menu did you two have in mind?
And now I am out of my out of my depth because we did not have a menu. You know what? Cove, you love food. I'm gonna let you take the reins on this one, buddy. You got this. Cove's attention moved from the pamphlet to you. He breathed out evenly, understanding that he would be the one to answer here. Please rescue me.
Well, I don't think we have any special requirements.
Nodding, you were in agreement with Cove's answer. You appreciated him speaking up and handling the situation for you. Thank you.
Sure thing.
The chef smiled warmly at his choices and then pulled out a notepad and pen. She made sure to write down everything that was requested.
That's the biggie already done then. Let's keep that ball rolling.
Yes, please.
At the minimum, there's going to be a main entree in our service, so that's 1 course automatically. And if you're having cake or another dessert, that'll technically be another course for your guests. Although that doesn't count as one of the portions that we offer here. I can go up to 6 courses, the dinner, and as many as 5 additional portions. So, we're looking at salad, soup, a hot appetizer, a cold appetizer, and or a palate cleanser. Do you know how big you want the service to be?
The full 6-course meal. I got no idea.
I feel like 6 is maybe excessive. Maybe?
I'm thinking between 2 and 3. 3. A 3-course meal should be plenty. Do you think so too?
That sounds really good.
Okay. Cove brightened, contemplating the possible combinations with 3 courses. He picked up the pamphlet again.
I really did want at least one of those other options. 3 courses then, eh? Sounds like it. Do you know what you'd like for it? I want one of them to be a soup.
Good choice. Sure, I'm not gonna say no to soup.
Okay, we have an entree and a soup agreed on.
Yep. The chef glanced up from her notepad. She twirled the pen with her fingertips in anticipation.
It's coming along nicely so far. What else were you thinking?
A salad, hot appetizer, cold appetizer, palate cleanser. Salad?
Perfection! This'll be tasty. Oh, and how much heat are you expecting for the dishes? We can keep it all very mild, or we can easily push the spice levels up.
I mean, I have a very high spice tolerance. When my husband and I got married, his spice tolerance was just starting to eek. He was doing pretty good. Now he can basically tolerate as spicy as I can tolerate. Burning hot. You know what? I'm fine with any spice level, so I'm gonna let the boy answer for this one. Cove met your eye, and you could tell that he was mulling over the same problem. And then you caught the light bulb moment in the way that he brightened.
How about we keep the meals mild, and we put out sauces and stuff on the table so people can adjust the food to their preferences? Is that possible?
That is a great idea. I love you, man.
Yes, of course we can do that.
That's a perfect idea. Cove's suggestion made sense, but his cheeks still reddened from your compliment, and that only made your grin widen. And... The chef backtracked through her notes for a second. She thought over everything that you all had discussed until she could pin down exactly what was slipping her mind. What about the drinks? Are we a just water please party, a coffee and tea group, or hard drinkers? There's always at least going to be water, even if you have other options, so don't worry about that. Oh, I'd like there to be... whatever Cove wants. So at mine we had water, coffee, tea, fruit juices, but no alcohol. We would have had to get a liquor license for the hall that we rented out for our reception, so we just decided, you know what, we're not gonna bother with alcohol. So we had a dry wedding, but we did have a lot of different types of drinks available at least. So I feel like I can only choose one though. I don't want to have just water. Can I pick multiple, or is it just like you only get to choose one additional? I'm gonna save. I'm curious. So if I say coffee, for example. Perfect, okay. I can pick multiple, but I want to hear, what is Cove? Cove, honey, what are you thinking? Bashful over your directness, Cove softly offered his suggestion.
Can we have some fruit juice options there along with the water?
Definitely. He beamed. You do nearly anything to keep putting that delight on his face. Okay, perfect. I'm glad. I'm glad that you're like, okay, so what do you want? And he's like, I just want some fruit juice. That's all I want. Perfect. And we'll have some coffee. And we'll have some tea. And then for the few weird people that like sparkling water, we'll have that too. And that's everything I'm thinking.
I think we covered it. There's nothing else I'd want to add.
We'll make it happen. So that's the menu type, meal scale, spice level, and beverage basics. Pleased, Rhonda rolled her sleeves up. Her gaze fell on you and Cove with a new determined gleam. Let's go deeper. Cove smiled nervously at the chef's intensity, but he didn't wilt completely. You had a sneaking suspicion his remaining strength came from the topic still being about food. The conversation continued from there. It dug into the specifics, such as the main protein and side ingredients, the style of cuisine the foods would be based on, and so on and on. It took a fair bit of time, but eventually a finalized selection was arranged. You couldn't get over how delicious everything sounded the longer the conversation went. By the end, Cove appeared just as relieved and excited as you were about the food. But most of all, you were so grateful to have a set menu planned for the wedding. Rhonda, however, hadn't slowed down at all. I see that you're both settling down for a rest, but just hang on and stay with me a little longer. We're not done yet.
Oh, there's something else?
Yes, and it's called presentation. We can do all levels of flair for your meal. Were you picturing a plain Jane approach or something more hoity-toity? The stuff just needs to be on the plate. Just put it on the plate and I'll put it in my mouth, and that's all I want. Honestly, that is all that I would care about. You know what, Cove? I want whatever you want. Honestly, it just needs to be on a plate for me. Cove held your eye for a moment. He warmed under your affectionate gaze.
Well, I just think it should look nice. Kinda special, because it's a special day. But it doesn't have to be crazy fancy.
I think that's a good compromise. Cove rubbed at his arm nervously. His lips pulled into a hopeful smile, and you understood where he was coming from. That works for us! So, as I started to talk about way back when, we'll provide the plates and utensils and such. Our plates are white, but they can be completely plain or have little swirly details around the edges. What do you think of that? Before you or Cove could even consider giving an answer, she held both her hands up to stop that and stole a glance over her shoulder. Oh, wait, give me another sec. I'll grab some stacks. You should see before choosing anything. Again, without leaving a window to say anything in response, Rhonda darted off deeper into the kitchen. Cove stared at her as she went. His expression was deadpan. Alright, fair enough. I put a lot on you today. I will pick the plates.
You can pick the plates.
What? Does it look like I want to pick out plates? I love it. Thank you. I'll just say thank you. An abrupt clattering came from the direction she disappeared down, and a moment later your caterer had reappeared. She kept her word and had piles of plates balanced in each of her hands. She stepped up to a clear counter space. Rhonda spoke cheerily, almost musically, while laying out the first set of plates and some forks to go with them, perhaps so you knew for sure what they'd look like together.
Here's the white.
Cove looked on distantly, but you leaned forward to properly scrutinize the pure white dinner plates.
And here's the swirl.
As promised, this time there was an extra design element on the plates. You considered it carefully.
Now, what are you thinking?
I'll admit the swirly one does look nicer. I like the swirly one.
Got it! Thanks for humoring me. And now you can breathe. We're done!
Rhonda laughed happily as she closed her notepad and put it aside. I feel like me and Cove have to have a nap after all the energy of Rhonda. Just like, ugh.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we had that worked out. Thank you very much, Rhonda.
Thanks so much.
It's my pleasure. We're looking forward to knocking your socks off. It'll be a 3-course, no special requirements, mild meal that your guests will be talking about for years to come. I promise. Neat. One last quick question. Sure thing! How do we get out of here again?
Rhonda clapped her hands and let out a deep laugh. Cove's face reddened with embarrassment.
Go down the hall and take a left to another hall, then a right, and then you'll find the exit. It was so nice meeting you too. Thanks. Again.
After that, you and Cove left the kitchen and made it out of the building in one piece following Rhonda's instructions. You both returned to the car with a vigor in your strides. It was amazing to get such a nice meal arranged in exactly the way that you both wanted it to be. The food was definitely something you were going to be daydreaming about from now until the big day.